Hey, good morning, everyone. Michael Fanning here. This is Warm Up 316, and happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So, today I thought would be a good day to talk about effective communication. If you want to understand and take on the understanding of other people and what they believe, then you got to be able to communicate effectively. And so, I'm going to use a real easy acronym for this, and it's just love, and not LOVE, but LUV, okay? LUV. And that acronym simply stands for this: listen, understand, and validate. So let's just break it down. So listening, what is listening? And I gotta tell you, I'm guilty of this, about not effectively listening at times, and I have to catch myself. And I gotta say, we all are this way. So effective listening is simply this: is when you allow somebody to have the time of possession, meaning that they are the person that's doing all the talking and you're asking the questions. And so that's one piece of it, right? It's not you talking the whole time, but listening to what they're saying. The other part of it is being undistracted, meaning not having something else going on, like looking at your phone and listening to somebody at the same time. And I will tell you this, that when you're listening, think about this: we have two ears and one mouth. We should listen twice as much as we talk. If I go have lunch with somebody, and during that lunch, I talk about myself the entire time, and I have time of possession, they will walk away and say, that wasn't a very good lunch. I didn't really enjoy it. But if I sit there and I listen and I ask questions and they talk the entire time about themselves, then guess what? They'll walk away and say, wow, that was a terrific meeting, terrific lunch. I really enjoyed it. Because our favorite topic is us. And when you allow people to talk about themselves, it's amazing. So listening, just simply listening to understand. And when you listen, it's not me trying to give you a response or try to tell you that, I'm going to fix it, or here's what I think you should do. Nobody likes unsolicited advice. Nobody wants to be fixed. Nobody wants to be changed. All I want to do most of the time is to be heard by somebody who is listening intently. So the first part is listen. Number two, the you in this is understand. What does that mean? That means that you're not here with an agenda. Don't make any assumptions. Do not assume you know what they're meaning or what they're thinking or what they want from the conversation. Make no assumptions in any way, shape, or form. And all you're doing is understanding. And there's two types of ways you can demonstrate understanding. One is verbal and one is nonverbal. Verbal understanding is, I hear you. Absolutely. Yes. Yes, that makes sense. You're just nodding, you're engaging, you're just going through the process. The other part of it in the nonverbal is I'm facing you, I'm looking at you, I'm head nodding. Yep. Right? That is nonverbal. And I will tell you that women are way better at nonverbal validation than men are. And there's studies on this. The other thing is this: have you ever been in a conversation where you're talking over somebody? I will always say that when they finish saying what they're saying, wait 3 seconds before you have a response. And here's why. Because most of the time in that silence, in that 3 seconds of silence, there's more they want to say. But what happens is we cut people off, and then we cut people off, we move on. So listen, understand. The last one is validate. And what I mean by that is when we validate, when somebody is saying something, if somebody's having a difficult time, do you know that most people can solve their own problems? They don't need us to solve their problems. What they need to do is they need to be heard. They need to have us validate that we're hearing them. And we need to ask specific questions that allow them to come up with their own answers. When I'm coaching or when I'm teaching the ninja installations that I teach, the question lies within the student most of the time. And so this is Socrates, right? Socrates says if you ask enough questions, the student will identify their own solution. And here's the reason why that is so important. When I identify what I need to do and I verbalize it, I'm 10 times more likely to remember that solution I came up with and also put that solution into play. But if somebody tells me what to do, right? If somebody tells me what to go do, it drastically reduces. So when you're talking to people, don't fix them. Don't give them advice. Don't tell them what you think they should do. Ask questions and let them come up with that answer on their own. And when they come up with that answer on their own, validate it. Say, yeah, wow, that sounds like that's the thing that you think you should do, and sounds like it probably is going to work. Validate it. So What's effective communication? Listen, understand, validate. And there's some great books out there. There's a great book called Communication Tactics. There's questions called Crucial Conversations, which is a really good book. Just learn how to be an effective communicator, because I think that there's a lot of us sometimes that aren't so great at communicating effectively. And if you don't communicate effectively, how can you take on the perspective of another? All right, everyone. That's my 2 cents for today. Hey, be awesome and help somebody. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.